What's up, everyone, and welcome to Game Pass in Review, where we break down the games on Xbox Game Pass and let them know if they're worth your time. My name's Kevin, aka the Muffin Man, and today we're taking a look at Football Manager 2022, the recently released simulation sports manager title from Sports Interactive and published by Sega. Now, this is a yearly installment similar to FIFA, but if you are not familiar with Football Manager, unlike FIFA, where you actually control the players on the field, you have to score the goals, make the passes. Football Manager is just a simulation game where you take on the role of the manager of a football, aka soccer club, if you're in the States. In Football Manager, you do not play the actual games. You are responsible for the behind the scenes role at a football club. That means you make the transfers, you sell players, you have to balance the books, you have to do media pressings, you have to do all the things that come with the role of being a manager of a sports club. So I hopped in with my favorite team, Arsenal. And one thing about Football Manager that does bug me right off the bat is that they don't have the official logos for the teams. So my Arsenal, despite being in FIFA, this is all licensing, but they're a FIFA recognized club. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They don't have them. They don't have the logo. They don't have any of the Premier League teams, actually. Manchester United, it's even called Manchester United in Football Manager 2022. They're called Manchester UFC or something. It's absolutely nonsense. Not a fan of that. Wish they had the actual licensing to bring that into the game. But in terms of the actual gameplay, I'm playing on Series X. Now, Football Manager 2022 did come to both consoles and PC. They made a specific Xbox edition, is what they're calling it, for consoles. Now, this raises some concerns because I'm not familiar what the PC version is like. Last one I played on PC was like in 2013, but the console version, right off the bat, controls very rough. It is not designed for a controller, and you can tell that right away. The UI is not intuitive. You're trying to use the joystick. It's going all over the place. You cannot easily access menus. I often found myself clicking in the left stick to get rid of using the joystick and creating a little cursor that you can move around the screen. That does alleviate some of the issues where you can go and then click on everything. But the UI, especially if you're a new player, is overwhelming. You have no idea what is going on. They don't explain much to you, and you're oftentimes just hitting right trigger, trying to progress, trying to get to the next game. That, I think they can do a better job of bringing you in and letting you know, this is located here, this tab is here, what does this feature do, what are you responsible for? Because they don't do a great job of that, in my opinion. What they do a good job of is simulating the role of being a football manager. Because I don't know, something about this game is a lot of fun to me. I've always enjoyed playing FIFA career mode where you play the manager mode and then you take on the role of the manager. And there, it's a lot less of, balancing spreadsheets, but you do get some of the same tasks like selling, buying players, setting formations, setting tactics. Although the tactics in Football Manager are much more in depth. It's no longer just, certain formations and styles of play like it is in FIFA, although they've been trying to rectify that. Football Manager lets you be like, okay, how are we going to play? Possession, tiki-taka, counterattack. How are we going to move the ball in transition? Are we going to go up the left? Are we going to go up the right? Are we going to go down the middle? What players are going to do what? Are they going to overlap? Are they going to underlap? Are we going to hoof the ball up? How are we going to react when we lose the ball? Are we going to drop back? Are we going to press? There is so much customization that it's like I said, overwhelming. If you understand football tactics, then this is great. I did find myself, spending a lot of time in there trying to make them play the way I want. Pass it around, fast, fluid, keep the ball, keep possession, pass it in, cross it in on goal when you have a clear opportunity. Don't be wasteful with the ball. And everything going well. I only lost one game in my first, 15 or something. But I found that over time, and perhaps this is a Nintendo feature, that the opposition players start to catch on to the tactics you set. And this is where I think the game makes you actually think like a football manager. You have to adjust mid-game. You have to figure out what formation you want to switch to, what tactics you want to switch to. Do you encourage the players? Do you berate them for a mistake? how does this react? Because each player has an emotion bar. They can be happy, they can be sad, they can be frustrated. This impacts performance, this impacts their happiness at the club. Each player has that very in-depth player profile. It lets you know who they like playing with, what style of football they like playing. Are they happy at the club? Way more than just the smiley faces you get in a game like FIFA. You have to delegate training. You can do training. You can set up yourself. What are we going to focus on? Are we going to focus on the tactical aspect of the game? Are we going to focus on attacking, defense? I found that we started leaking goals, so I was like, all right, we're going to focus on defense for a while. There is so many menus in this game and so much to do that I think I probably haven't even scratched the surface of a lot of them. There's the data center where it lets you know like what you're excelling in. We're controlling the ball well, we're passing well, but our shots are bad. So this helps you inform your decisions about like what you're going to focus on, how you're going to develop certain players. You can bring up players from the youth academy, put them in the squad, and you have these monthly meetings with your board. They'll let you know if they're happy and what they're not happy about. So it really does, like, it kind of gives you a sense of dread almost sometimes. Like if you lose a match you weren't supposed to, or you didn't get the result you wanted, then you see like a little red bar. It's like the board is disappointed in this and this. So it really gives you the pressure of like, oh God, I don't want to get fired. I got to figure out like what players should I be playing? Like, are they not performing? What tactics do I need to switch? I think it does give you a good sense of the pressure of being in that job. Obviously not the high stakes, making millions of dollars, but the fun aspects of being a manager. Because, like I said, there's no gameplay besides managing tactics and doing all the roles that you have to do. You basically just watch the game play out. And let's be real, graphics, they don't worry about that in Football Manager. They're little tiny sprite characters. They're not even detailed. They're not even accurate some of the times. Like I have black characters that are white. They really should put a little more effort into that. But overall, I think if you're a fan of football and like analyzing the tactical aspect of the game, that you'll find a little bit of fun here. There are online multiplayer modes you can play with friends. You can do your own little league where you each take control of the clubs you enjoy, and then you can battle it out and see who places better in the league, who wins what cup. You can go online, face random people in these types of leagues. So there are more than just the single player aspects of this game, and which I appreciate. Maybe one day me and my friends will do a league. I don't know. They're not really into these types of games, but the option is there for those of you that want it. So, like I said, if you're into this type of game, I would check it out, preferably on PC, because I do think that ultimately that will be the best experience. You don't need a high-end graphics card to play this game. The graphics, like I said, nothing there really. It's mainly text-based boxes, really no gameplay to illustrate. So even a low-end PC should be able to run Football Manager just fine. So check it out on PC because it will control a lot better than it does on Xbox with that controller setup, even though I have kind of gotten accustomed to it. But it gets a recommend for me just on the basis that I love football and Arsenal is doing well right now in the league. So it kind of got me in that mood for, I was like, oh, man, I really want a football-esque type game, but I'm not paying $70 for FIFA. I'm going to wait for it to come to Game Pass. This scratches that itch enough where I can just put on a podcast and sit down, relax, play some Football Manager, and I don't have to stress too much. Yes, I would like a little more gameplay, but that's never been what this game is about. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe if you want more content like this, and we will see you guys next time. And thanks for checking out Game Pass and Review. See ya.